I'm back to PrepperNow. Hopefully you enjoyed the earlier video. Seems to be doing pretty well. This this meme is excellent. Excellent meme. So I heard the whole thing. You know, this squirrel and raccoon thing. I mean, my lord. I just don't, I understand taking it into custody. I understand trying to do something that will keep it out of the guy's hands. The guy's running a rescue, and it's like he's got a raccoon and a squirrel. These are animals that obviously are woodland creatures, aren't exactly people's house pets. But the whole thing is just surreal that they would go in full guns and take these animals out and then just euthanize them. I don't know. It's absurd. It's terrible, and it's exactly what you would expect from a government that is just growing increasingly ruthless. Really, I mean, I don't know how to put it. I was talking to my parents tonight, and I was, I'm reading all the stuff on the election, and I'm not going to be talking about it outside of this, but I'm reading all the stuff on the election. And of course, it's getting close. And the New York Times comes out with this horse crap poll that says that Harris is winning everywhere, And they do this all the time. This is why all the polls were wrong in 16. All the polls were wrong in 20. They do this all the time. But, parents started getting me going, and I just started going off. I just said, look. Because they're like, what do you think? Who's going to win? I was like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because the people that have entrenched themselves into power are corrupt and evil, and they will stay there. And I'm not talking about who the popularity contest is over. I'm not even talking about really any elected officials. I'm talking about the people that are in permanent Washington. The people are, the ones that are in their whatever administrative state name, maybe they're in charge of DEI or something like that, but they're not going anywhere, no matter who wins. And that's why everything is like it is. That's why, as it says here, the people who want to take your boom booms are the people who went in and took out that squirrel and raccoon. And they love their power. They do. They love it, and they will not give it up. So, thinking that, thinking that one person coming in is going to do something to stop all that. And I asked this question over in the crisis report, because I got some people come here that think that Donald is the Antichrist. And he may win on Tuesday. What are you going to do if he loses? Serious question. Like, what happens? Because if you think about it, the theory that he is the Antichrist kind of gets debunked from there. So I don't know if he is. I don't know if he's not. I'm, like as I said over on Crisis Report, like I keep my mind open. I know what I know is that I don't know. Okay, I don't know who's going to win on Tuesday. I don't know what's going to happen between Israel and Iran or Russia and Ukraine. I don't know. Uh-oh. I think it's telling me to move on. I don't know. As this thing says right here. I don't know. I just go in and I read all this stuff. And I see what's going on. So, Trafalgar, they've done good work. He's up. McCormick's going to win, supposedly. 76 million people have already voted. I don't know what's going to happen. I know what the response will be. I know that there's boarding going up of Washington businesses, but I don't know. I don't think any of us know. I mean, doesn't it say that? Like nobody knows the time or date or anything like that. So I don't know. I think it's better just to kind of live in the moment and be a good person and see what happens and deal with it accordingly. But maybe I'm old-fashioned. So, that's the silver price today. We already covered that. We're going to go over here. Silver has hit a 12-year high. Yes, yes. Why is that? Well, because your money is going to be urinated away. And it is literally worth less and less by the day now. I mean, we're going to get to the point where they're going to have boards like they did in other places that have experienced hyperinflation. It's not going to be tomorrow. It's not going to be next year, but it'll be not too far. And they'll have to close down around lunchtime and change all the prices because things are just so crazy. And that has happened. It was happening in places like Turkey and Zimbabwe. And it happens. The reason why all these metals are going up is because everything in our money is just getting more and more worthless. More and more worthless. So it's actually up from here too. I think it's at 32, just under $33. It'll keep going. They're saying 36 by 2025, early part. Gold, they're saying 2,900. These are like Goldman and all their stuff. So, I mean, you tell me, are we really gonna be able to keep the lid on this sucker with what, $36 trillion? No. I mean, we can't even, I mean, we're paying money on, more money on our interest in usury than we are on the actual principal or now even our defense as we're rolling into major global conflict. So, as it says here, silver is going to continue to rally over the coming quarters because of consecutive rate cuts as China's stimulus could continue for some time. And they literally have a thing called anything it takes stimulus over there because they're doing so poorly. And the thing about silver, of course, is, well, it's multiple. It's not just a shiny rock that sits in someone's safe. It's dental. They use silver because of its it's clean or whatever. I can't think. Antibacterial, I think, is what it is. It doesn't collect crap. It's a metal that, for whatever reason, I'm sure some scientist types will come in and tell me, but it's good for dental work. It's good for solar. Obviously, they want to push that. It's good for a lot of different stuff. So, it's not going anywhere. And 12-year highs, well, it's going to keep going. I remember when it was at the 2011, 2012 numbers, when it almost hit $40, I think it was. I was buying at that time, and, you do you. Don't take my advice. I'm not a financial guy, but I know what we're doing in this family to prepare for such kinds of bad things. And why is that? It's because, well, as this lady put it, we have out-of-control debt. Yep. It is a national security threat. So Judy Shelton, she is the economic advisor. She says to Trump, she says, well, I want the United States to be the leader if there's any kind of gold backing to a currency. Well, of course, this is what they used to do. Our currency used to be backed by gold. It's what the smart kids do. But, of course, we're not run by the smart kids. We're run by the evil, keep me in control, corrupt kids. So she's the former chairman of the National Endowment for Democracy and former U.S. director of the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. She has testified before the U.S. Senate Banking, Senate Foreign Relations, House Banking, House Foreign Affairs, and Joint Economic Committee. So she knows her stuff. So, Paul Volcker, if you don't know who he is, he was in the early 80s. He was the guy that was the head of the Fed. And he's the dude that put all the really intense interest rates that we hearken back to. And we're talking about, oh my God, I haven't seen that since Volcker was in office in the 1980s, right? Talking to my parents about how they were paying on their mortgage when we were living in, the mid 80s. I think theirs was like 12%, something like that. And they had pretty good credit. So I don't know what if you were alive back then, and hopefully you're still alive today, and you had a mortgage, and you had a percentage rate. Why don't you put it in the chat what it was? If you got one in the early 80s, it was like 81 to 84, if I remember correctly. Put it in if you had one back then. Like, what was your rate? Because I'm sure it's going to blow everything that we have today out of the water. Imagine a 11, 12, 13% rate on a mortgage or a car loan or something like that. So Volcker was referencing a pivotal moment known as the Nixon shock in 1971. That, of course, is when he took us off the gold system, which was, blew out the Bretton Woods system. What is that? The Bretton Woods system is what established the American dollar as the world reserve currency post-World War II. For those that like this channel, because I do teach history and I kind of know this kind of crap, basically there was terrible inflation, and they thought to deal with that, we'll take the American dollar off of the gold backing so it will float, and we can tie it to more petroleum-based stuff. And now, of course, that's gone too, because the Saudis in June said you can take your gold-backed petrodollar and shove it where the sun don't shine. And now we are really floating, which is why all the stuff is going all over. So they talk about all kinds of stuff. They talk about national debt, but just think about $36 trillion in debt. They say that our death spiral would happen when we are paying more on our usury, more on our interest, than we are on what our national defense is. We're going to pay more on the financing than what it takes to put the $1 trillion, whatever the heck it is, into the war machine of America. And I don't know if you've looked out there lately, but we really kind of need our war machine right now, which is why we don't want it to be focusing on, whether you pee standing up or not. We want it to focus on, can you blow crap up and make it so we win, right? And that is kind of what we've gotten away with, as I sit there and every once in a while get horrified by scenes from the deck of a boat or something with people that are dancing around as if they're in Times Square getting ready to go to one of the wonderful bars on 9th Avenue. So, if you know, you know. So I didn't make it that way, but the being in the restaurant business in New York, you hear the places that your air quotes friends are going, but we are in a very precarious spot, And the other thing is, as all this is going on, the economy really is doing terrible right now. What do I mean? Well, TGI Fridays just came out and basically said, we're basically starting to go under. We're going to have to file bankruptcy. And they just closed, I think, 50 stores. They went from 215 TGI Fridays to, I think, 160 or so, 164. So think about that. Think about all the products. I mean, you've all been in the stores and seen, their jalapeno poppers or whatever in the frozen aisle, and all of the different stuff that they put out. Think of the workers that put all that together. Think of the, there's got to be at least 40 or 50 people that work, I know from being former restaurant guy, in all of those TGI Fridays. So that's probably 1,000 people that was let go with all of that. So, yeah. A lot of problems. But remember, folks, I said I wasn't, I was going to kind of come over here. I've been pretty snarky and sarcastic over all this stuff as of late. And the reason why is because, we're supposed to be believing that we are never ever been in a better position financially. Like things are really awesome. And I don't know about you, but like I don't think things are going too well. So we are not doing too well financially. So they come out here with all these, different polls and everything. And I mean, maybe it's because I've got a family and I'm hypersensitive to this stuff. Maybe it's because, I'm a little more nitpicky in all this. But I got to tell you, everything I'm seeing out there, financially, we're not doing too well as a country. The groceries for most people have gotten incredibly expensive. And, like we shop at the discount places. We go to places like Ollie's because they have, snacks for the kids that are really, deep discounts in certain ways, certain areas. Now, they're normally things that are a little bit different, there'll be like some strange kind of granola bar that's got a, combo that you're not used to. But, like maple raisin walnut or something like that. But like the kids are like, hey, I'm cool with that. We'll go pick those up. Why? Because they're 60% less. You go and you get I remember when the Nature Valley bars were like $1 for a 6-pack. You get them now, they're $4 for a 6-pack. So if I can get that 6-pack for $2, which I can at Ollie's, I'm going to go do that. I'm going to definitely go do that. And that's where a lot of people are doing, and other people are figuring out. I see the numbers that go into these places, and they get more and more every time I go in there. There's more people in there. It's not because they're making, taking their paycheck and doing it, but like things are just awful for a lot of people. And we're actually okay, all things considered, but at the same time, a lot of people are out there worried about their jobs, everything else. But so some of these questions I want to go through. It says, how interconnected are sound money, economic opportunity, stability, and global peace in today's polarized world? It's everything. As many people have said, world wars start from currency wars. And that's basically what you're seeing right now. What do you think the BRICS is? The BRICS is basically the first salvo of a currency war that's coming to replace the American dollar as the world reserve currency. Why do you think so many policymakers dismiss and mock gold, even as global demand soars the records? Because they don't want you to know what is what. They don't want you to figure out safe havens, because the more idiots out there that get taken up and taken out, the more opportunities for them. So there's no skin in the game for them to really care if you know what is going on. How does the Fed's centralized control over interest rates affect what is supposed to be a market-based economy? It's everything. Now, it would be terrible if at first, not forever, but it would be rough. I wouldn't say terrible, I'll say rough. It would be rough at first if they just let things free float as pertain to our interest rates and stuff, but they would eventually settle out and be much more realistic. The problem is with the Fed and everything is it's the manipulation. Everything they do manipulates things. And there's nothing federal about them. It's private. And if you know anything about them, they do what they do, and they basically reward their friends. They don't care about little people like you and I. So it says, are central banks' aggressive policies eroding or undermining capitalism and the concept of free markets? Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. How can you have a free market if all the little guys are taken out? I mean, what do you think happened after Rona? After Rona, all kinds of people lost their businesses. We were talking about it tonight, about the restaurants. Think about TGI Fridays going under. What do you think the people that have the little, the barbecue joint down you that's not there anymore, that was there 4 years ago? Those are your neighbors. So when all those get taken out and you can only go and get barbecue from Mega Restaurant Corp USA, that's not exactly a free market. If only all you can do is work at one of those stores and not start one and be your own kind of a business owner, that's not good. So I was hearing things about also even the small little companies that are running like roofing companies and stuff like that, and handymen and all that. They're getting bought out by venture capital places that are saying, keep your name on there so you look like a local little company, whatever it may be, but we'll fund you with everything, and then you got to pay the piper when it's all done. So, yeah. Are BRICS nations positioning gold to become a unit of account? Yes, because the BRICS, when they come out, in my mind, I might be wrong, they're going to basically take the gold and put it behind the bricks. And then people, that's why, this lady's like, we should do this to the dollar. We should. It would stabilize stuff. It'd be rough going for about a year, but it would stabilize. It's going to be walk in the park compared to what's coming. And if you don't have gainful employment, like if you work at the Container Store, yeah, you're going to have problems. That's the other thing. A lot of people are starting to lose their job. Who was it? Someone. A former friend of mine. He friended me on Facebook. I was on there for stuff. I rarely go there, but he had sent me a friend request. He's a guy I knew back in the day. And he literally hit me up. He's like, man, hey, I'm starting a little internet company or whatever. I'm taking loans to be a part of this thing. I was like, I don't got money to loan you money, dude. But, I know him well enough to know that he wasn't trying to be just like a scamster, but at the same time, he's probably having a tough go of things. He probably had this idea, put it all together, and then needs the funding for it. And because he's wrecked his credit, this is my read, I could be wrong, he's not able to handle it. He's looking for money from strange places. I was telling him about microloans. Go to the microloan place, send him all this information on it. And the sad thing is that, and that's another thing, with all of the finances and all the terrible state of Americans overusing credit cards and stuff, right? Credit card debt, I think it's at 37% are either defaulted or have defaulted in the last year of credit cards, something like that, some astronomical number. Again, I don't know exactly. I don't have it in front of me, but that when they do all the Americans are 1.1 trillion in credit card debt, they don't even add in the micro lending. They don't know where that's at, and that's in tens, if not hundreds of billions of dollars now, because that's becoming more popular. Little things where, Klarna, I think it is, if you buy something that's, you get an iPhone, they're like, oh, you can pay over 6 payments with Klarna, or whatever the heck. I think it's called Klarna. I could be wrong. And they, it sounds great, but then of course, they get theirs and all that. All those loans are not accounted for. So I think a lot of Americans are about to start losing their jobs. Heard over the Friday, I think it was Friday, yep, Friday. Basically, it came out and said that, government only added 12,000 jobs. Or not the government, the United States only added 12,000 jobs. Now, of course, that's going to push old Captain Harris over the finish line and win, because everybody just absolutely loves what's going on out there right now. But 12,000 jobs, when you look at it, it was 36,000 that were added, and they were all government. Okay? Yeah, all government. So are we really adding jobs, or are we down 24,000? I think it was Poplar who said that. It was a good point. So, but yeah, you might know the Container Store. The Container Store is one of my wife's favorites. Whenever we're around any of them and she looks them up, she likes to go in and get stuff because she's into the whole minimalism and simplification community, and Container Store has a lot of products that are into that, right? So the company is exploring scaling back, discontinuing part of its operation, seeking bankruptcy protection, pending equity deal with Beyond falls through if the company is not able to land a transaction to provide additional liquidity, refinance credit facilities. So I don't know if you've ever been in one of these places. A lot of cool products, you know, if you're into like home wares and all that, but it's expensive. And people are tapped out. People don't have the ability to just go in and drop, you know, $400 on a complete, you know, suite of materials for their kitchen anymore. So net sales fell 10.5% year over year. Do you know how much that has to be? Do you know how nasty the freaking economy has to be for that? That's almost $200 million. Net sales for the company's retail declined 10.4 to 100. Oh, wait, it went from 196.6 million. Anyway, it's down. So net loss was 16.1 million versus 23.7 million a year ago. I mean, so they come out here and they're like, oh, everything's just great. It's the best economy ever. He's adding jobs. No, you're not. You're not. You're not. I see it. I see it in the people's eyes and ollies as they're pricing over the cans of you know, food because it's cheaper there. You can see it. You can see it in people's eyes when they're in Walmart. You can see it. It's not going well. Things aren't going good. So on Tuesday, when, you know, all your dreams of an American comeback are crushed because a miraculous victory happens. Remember all this. No one's coming to save any of us, folks. You know, no one's coming to stop the Walgreens people. You know, they're going to lay off 250 people, poor people. Like, have you been in a Walgreens? I don't even think people work there. I mean, at this point, they might as well have robots. I mean, and why would you want to go there? Get like a $9 tube of toothpaste. Screw that. And especially like think of the cities in San Francisco and New York. There's a Walgreens we went to when we visited New York a couple years ago. And everything was locked up. Why? Because everybody's broke. They're stealing. Can't make it. So they're not paying $9 for the toothpaste. They're stealing the toothpaste. So that 250 people in a country of 330 million is not, you know, terrible, but I don't know how many people are working for Container Store, but still, I mean, things are not going in the right direction. So on Tuesday, when all of this is going on and everybody's just up in a tizzy over whoever wins, and honestly, folks, as I stated earlier, it doesn't matter. The people we want to win aren't going to win. So everything that happens that is in our direction is a speed bump. It's not going to stop anything. It's inevitable. So we need to get out of the system. We need to do things to remove ourselves. We need to get prepared. We got to get prepped for the inevitable collapse of the American empire. That's what I think. That's my honest to God opinion. At some point in my lifetime, and I'm 51 years old, okay? Sometime in my lifetime, it's going to all come crap in the bed. And I was telling my parents that tonight. I said, look, I don't know who's going to win on Tuesday. I don't have any control over that. I have control over everything that goes on under this house, under this roof. That's it. That's all I care about. Educate my children, give them morals, give them a Christian education, give them a Christian upbringing, be as good of a father as possible, support them, show them what a healthy role model of a male is, be a loving father, be a loving husband, and provide to them and do everything I can to give them all that they need, not want, and let them respect and understand that hard work is important. And of course, these are all things that are now the antithesis of what America stands for. So I feel like a stranger in a strange land, to be honest with you, most days. So, all right, friends, we're going to leave it on that one. I don't know about you, but I feel a little bit better. Thanks. That's I bet people think I walk around like this, just complaining to everybody. No, this is for you. This is my confessional. I get to come here and just lay it all out and then move on and just act like a normal, happy American. And I am a happy American. I'm sad to see all this getting slowly eroded over time. This great country and all of the terrible things happening to it by people that are doing everything they can to strip mine the walls before the house burns up on fire. So hopefully you're prepping and doing the things. Friends, if you like what we're doing here, you can become a member. Membership does help. A couple bucks a month. I got SubscribeStar on locals. Those are $3. Put all kinds of information out there that I can't put anywhere else. The guy that does my graphics, my man, you know who you are. He said it would be wise for me to set up basically a space on my website. I haven't really touched my website in a while. I have it. I've had it for many years. I used to put blog posts up on there. But what I might start to do is something to start to put it in play. I might actually rotate it in with the whole locals and whatchamacallit, SubscribeStar. Maybe just put a couple on there to keep it fresh and going. I got to do something. So he recommended it. He said, maybe you should put those back in play. I said, you know what? That's not a bad idea. He's a smart guy, and I respect him greatly. And for almost 4 years, he has helped me with a lot of the graphics that you will see, like today. So to him, I say thank you, brother. You know who you are. You know where you are, and I hope you're having fun doing what you're doing. But to everybody else, God bless you all. I really appreciate everything. Hit the links in the description, and we're going to check out tonight, do the work week and all that, but keep prepping. Just know that no matter what happens from here, we're on the clock, and you need to be putting things away and getting ready, okay? That's what smart people are doing. So God bless you all. PrepperNow, out.